A nod from back there. I says, does he want a cue light, but it's one more thing for him to fuss over and forget. I'll tell you one thing, this lot won't make it professionally. Bloody shambles. I mean, they didn't even want to rehearse the lighting cues. Shit, I mean, how careless can you get? The performance was due to start at midnight. Before that, a jazz quartet would be playing in the marquee, followed by a gay comedian whose TV show had been taken off the air. Chris was bemused. "I thought people came to a ball to dance," he said to Barry. "There's so much going on, it's like a fair. I'm surprised they haven't got dodgem cars." "Not a bad idea. I've done dozens of these, Chris. This is a bit more ambitious, but I like that. Look, I won't be needing you till 12:30. Go and have a wander, mingle, circulate." "I'm not dressed for that," said Chris, but he did as Barry said, fascinated by the braying voices of the young men, the bare shoulders of the young women in their ball gowns, and the sheer beauty of the college grounds in the summer twilight, with torches flickering on the grass, lights glowing amongst the great trees, and the first snatches of music drifting over the water. He'd lived all his life in Oxford, but there was a lot of it he'd never seen. The colleges were private places, except when tourists thronged them, bunches of bored Italian kids or interested Japanese adults, and Chris had no desire to mingle with them. Chris's Oxford was rougher, louder, dirtier than all that tourist stuff. It was the Jericho Tavern where good, new independent rock bands came to play. It was the football stadium. It was the Speedway, where Chris had gone every week till he tired of it and began to cycle seriously instead. That was his Oxford, not this upper-class fairyland. Chris decided then and there that whichever university he went to, it wouldn't be the one in his native city. For one thing, he didn't like feeling looked down on, and he was conscious of the faintly curious looks he was getting, casually dressed as he was in jeans and a t-shirt, plainly neither a guest nor a waiter. In fact, he looked as if he might have been a member of a rock band. He was good-looking enough, with rough, dark blonde hair and fit and muscular from his cycling. He looked older than he was, and if a person's character shows in their face, Chris's face showed independence and openness and courage. It might have showed innocence, too. When the night was completely dark and the ball was fully underway, Chris wandered down to the edge of the lake. There was a little boathouse under some great dark trees at the far end, and he wanted to see whether there was a boat in it. He left the floating bandstand with its jokily suited orchestra and brilliantined megaphone-holding singer, and made his way into the green darkness under the trees. The air was scented with the heavy sweetness of flowers from the college garden, and with the perfume of girls, and with the warm, slightly rotten smell of the vegetation at the edge of the water. Chris moved more slowly and finally stopped altogether at the corner of the boathouse, not quite sure why he'd stopped, not quite sure of anything, but intoxicated by something. He stood looking back across the water, watching the dancers on the wooden floor by the bandstand swaying to the music of Blue Moon. From this distance, they looked not offensively upper class, but tiny, glamorous figures, handsome men in black and white, and beautiful girls in coloured gowns, like some old-fashioned dream of elegance and grace. They looked even more striking because of the vast darkness that surrounded them, as if they were the last people left at the death of the universe, and they knew it. But they were dancing anyway, because they were human, and because the best way of being courageous was, at that moment, to dance. The distant words came over the water, and Chris stood there entranced while the old song unwound, while the saxophone wailed like a ghost, while the dancers swayed. He knew he'd remember this moment for the rest of his life. Then he turned away from the boathouse to go back, but he stopped because there were footsteps coming along the path. Someone was running towards him. The darkness among the shrubs and bushes was intense.